Now, I must say, just to finish here, that I said that it's difficult but necessary to sometimes admit you were wrong, and I said that in the opening, sort of to get people to be interested in this webinar. And so I want to describe what I mean by that. So clearly, over the past 5 years, I have been talking against the phenomena of contagion, that this business of one organism, one person, one animal, making another organism sick in the same way, otherwise known as contagion, has been scientifically disproven, and we should no longer believe it. Of course, that's using the old rigid scientific method where words actually mean something and logic and thinking actually mean something. But in investigating this piece and this critique, it was very clear to me that this Jeff Green has a pretty significant case of the illness that I've described in the past, which is called sitt, otherwise known as the syndrome of insufficient thinking. So this is clearly an example of that, and this is a very difficult disease. It's difficult to treat. It eventually has usually a bad outcome. And to my shock and surprise, and the part that has made me rethink my position on contagion, is it seems like there's a rumor that he has been in communication with this fellow Mies, who my Dutch friends are saying is pronounced Mace, but I kind of like Mies, so I call him Mies. And as I've described, Mies has a very bad case of sitt. He's clearly full of sitt, which is the proper scientific way to describe it. And so it does seem that I was wrong, that certain syndromes like sitt are definitely contagious. It was very difficult for me to face this reality and to admit this, but if it's true, which I don't know for sure, that Jeff has been in contact with Mies and maybe even had a visit, then I think you would almost have to say Mies would qualify as a super spreader, because I think there's other people. I just received a podcast link to a interview with a guy named Chris Shaw, and he was using the same line of this rigid scientific method where words mean something and there's actually a process of logic that needs to be in place in order for us to understand things, which is the whole basis of this scientific method. That's all old-fashioned and rigid, and we can't follow that anymore. We need to use this more creative science approach, and we need to be able to be flexible with words and concepts and really to be able to create anything we want. And as I pointed out, there's a lot of economic activity and stimulation that will come to that, and a whole new realm of creative endeavors and businesses. And it seems like this is happening now because of the contagious, widespread nature of sitt. And I don't know if all these people have been in contact with Mies, in which case he would qualify as a super spreader. But I must say, I have to rethink my concept of contagion in the face of this dramatic evidence. Okay, I think I've covered it, and I think that's pretty much all I need to say. Hopefully everybody gets the point here, and thanks everybody for joining me. I hope Jeff takes a look at this, and he can describe exactly what he means by this new creative, adaptive scientific method. So thanks everybody. Keep cool, or do what you need to do to hang in there, and I will see you next week.